more cross stitch plans. Now if you're seeing the back of my, this is actually what I use to do my picks for the month. But I decided I was going to try something that a lot of people did this year, which they did the 23 projects in 23. So I decided I was going to downsize my whip count for a year and do 24 projects in 2024. And the way that I chose was I picked 12 full coverage and 12 non-full coverage. So I have all of my picks right here all lined up. I have, so I also have done a 2024 whip go board already, and I'll get into that in just a moment, but I'll be showing you all the whips that are going to go into 2024. I have them all behind me. So it'll be kind of like a little bit of a whip parade to show you what's going to be going in and what will be happening. My phone was pressed up against my backside and it was trying to unlock. That's scary. Excuse me. If you hear any random noises such as whining or anything, my dog is down below. Just be prepared. That could happen. I will try to pause if I realize that she may start barking. If I don't catch it, I apologize. This is your warning. It could happen. Speak of the whines. No, ma'am. You have an hour before you get fed. 1 hour. She can be a brat. What? I can't. You think you need all the attention. Let me turn this way just for a minute to give you some foot rubs. Is that better? I'm touching you. You're getting a little massage while I'm talking to people on camera. It's kind of rude. Anywho, so my woodrow board, I left the middle space empty as you do. You could put whatever you wanted in there. I chose to just leave it blank. That way it kept me at 24 whips, and then I took out 2 because one is going to be my yearly focus, which is a supersized full coverage, as I have a 6-year plan. I'm trying to math. It's hard. So I have a 6-year plan, and then one of my non-full coverages is slated for a finish in February because it is a stitch along, and we are halfway through. I think we're like about halfway through, or no, we are halfway through. We're at the halfway mark. So I am hoping to have that one done in February, so that way it will become a finished object and not a whip anymore. Stop it. The way that I'm running this is, yes, I have the 24 projects. I haven't fully decided yet if when I finish one, if I will leave that space blank completely. Oh, she's so cute. Or if I will spin my random wheel after taking out the object that got finished and spin it and move in a new one. That has yet to be decided, but it at this point will be kind of dealer's choice if I choose to leave it blank or if I choose to fill the space again, just so I will have the 24 projects. Same for the full coverage. However, I don't know if I will finish any of my full coverages. There's a possibility that I could finish to 4 of them. Just because 2 are QSs and 1 is already at 55-ish% done, which you'll see. So there is the possibility of actually finishing a full coverage next year. I'm not holding my breath, but it is possible, which is exciting. For the WIPGO board, I have it where I'm only going to be working on each project for 4 days when they get pulled. I didn't want to give myself anything more or less. Less, I felt like it wouldn't be enough. The one year that I really tried to do WIPGO, I was trying to get a page finish on each project. That was hard. That was really, really hard. I did manage to actually finish a project that year with WIPGO, but it was really hard pressed. And its twin is actually in this year, going in this year and is in on the WIPGO. So I have each project, since there were only 22 projects I was putting on my board, that left me with 2 spaces, that I picked 2 projects, 1 full coverage, 1 non-full coverage, that I wanted to work on more, just so that way they could get more progress. Now if I finish one or the other before the second time they come around, then I will scratch it off and I may put something else in its place, but at the same time I may just leave it alone and just mark them both off. I have no doubts in my mind that that will not happen. I am not trying to set myself up for failure, as a lot of goals tend to happen that way for me. So that's why I'm trying to keep it very, very simplistic going into next year. With that being said, I am going to go ahead, put away the calendar, and we're going to start showing what things are going to be happening next year. I'm not sure what order these are going to go in, because in my box they're just kind of in there. Some of them, actually 3 of them currently are not in there at the moment. So we can start with those. I need this so I can actually show which ones I've already shown you. Okay, so as the avalanche occurs a little bit, we're going to go ahead and start off with this one. This is Cherry's Jubilee by Glendon Place. That is what it will look like. It is on a 32 count stitched 2/2 full cross with the called for threads and beads. This one was actually really funny that it got picked, because I currently have it in my pulls for this month. So it's getting a little extra work before going into the next year. There were a couple that were for this year. This is where I'm at. There were a couple that were in the pulls for this month that I took out and just decided to move them into the bin for next year. So that way I'm kind of down on my pulls a little bit this month, but not a whole lot. Next up is the Castle Homecoming Sal. So I don't really have an end picture for you, but this is basically sans like the hoop. I'm not pulling it out because I'm going to work on it. So this is as good as it's going to get. This is almost up through clue 5. Clue 5 is coming in here. That's where I'm going to be working. And so that one is in progress. Next up is the yearly focus. Oh no. is supersized Max Keller Once Upon a Fairy Tale. That is what he will look like. It is stitched 1/110 stitch on 32 count. Good grief. Or tablet. Let me just mark off that bit there. I am seated at like 5.50% or 5.54, something to that effect. I've finished 5 pages. I have currently got it kind of rolled up. Once I finish this page though, I think I'm going to take it out to shuffle it over a little more. So that way you guys will be able to see it in all its glory, and it's wonderful. I have never gotten, I feel so good about there being 5 pages done on this thing. Like, you have no idea. There are 104 pages to this supersize. So that one is my 6-year planned project. And we're just gonna move this over here. I will be unzipping things, so if you have sensitive ears, I apologize. And I'm also going to be putting away as I go. This one is a freebie from Joyful Expressions, I believe is what it's called. When you sign up for their email list, it is, give me just a moment, it is called His Name is Jesus. I'm just trying to find, ooh, if I can get the PDF to pull up real quick. Okay, there it is. So these are, this is a variation. This is a variation of what it will look like. Oh, that's so blown out. I apologize. That is very, very blown out right now. Well, that's better. Okay, that is a variation of what it will look like. Mine looks very different. So this version that I have is stitched on 28 count sterling 2/2 full cross in the colors 815, B5200, and 310. Yes, if you are from the state of South Carolina, as I am, these are the University of South Carolina's colors. I do know that. They're that way because the person I'm stitching it for is a University of South Carolina fan. So that is why they are this color. I did complete this pattern once already, so this one is actually at halfway done. Last year I completed its twin, which was actually its fraternal twin, because it was stitched in 550, B5200, and a gold Kreinik, and I did finish that one. Like 2 years ago, I think. Okay. Next is She Sleeps. It is a Marika kit. And this one is new. This one I started this year, I believe. It is a piece of art that is by Stephanie Poumoulin. You can also find this pattern on Heaven and Earth Designs. Mine is the Marika kit because I was kind of intrigued by this. It's not completely full coverage. Some of the fabric will show through in the areas where you see this blue. That is the fabric. There is a little bit of back stitching, and it is about 50 colors less than what you would have with the Heaven and Earth designs. And so I was really curious how the detail would come out and how it would look. It is stitched with all of the called for threads and fabric, and it is on a 16 count light blue Zweigart Ada. This is the right way. So I started this year, and I got a decent chunk happening. I'm actually thrilled to see this back here, that I can tell this is one of the sets of berries. That's so awesome. And this is her eye right here, and this is the branch going across. I'm so thrilled. And like her nose is in there. You have no idea how thrilling that is to see that. And to know that some of everything, every time that I have worked on this, I literally was like, it's just blobs of color, it's just blobs of color. It's starting to, it actually looks like something, and it's not fully like filled in yet. It's amazing. So it does use, the Marika kit does use DMC threads, so they're not bulky or anything. And for my own sanity's sake, I started going through and color matching to my master set, just in case I was to run out. And they're matching very well. So next up is a project that is called Four Seasons Chairs. It is a Janlin kit. Yep, an old Janlin kit. When did I have this from? Gosh, how old is this? This was one of the kits that I got when I first started stitching, honestly. 2016, hey, how about that? That was, yeah, a year after I started stitching was when that happened. So, I almost finished a quarter of it, so that's not bad. This is what it will look like. I don't know if you can find this anymore. This is what it will look like. I started with the summer chair, and I almost finished that block. Ooh, how did I do that? That's a nice little trick, isn't it? Somehow I managed to stick my needle through two sets the fabric there. So I've almost gotten the summer block completed, which is nice. Back stitch and all. Whenever I had ended working on this several years ago, I was just starting to do the word summer around the summer border. It's really fun to kind of go back and look at stuff, and looking at it, like I can tell this didn't have, I don't think this had any quarter stitches in it. Yeah, this one didn't have any quarter stitches, and my stitching was not messy at all. Like the back isn't too bad either. Look at that. For being like the year after I started stitching, that's not bad at all. That's pretty decent. The only reason it was that much progress on it is because I had taken just this project with me on a vacation with my family. That was the only thing I worked on that entire time. It was a new start too. I remember that. This project is a kit from a company called Imaginating. It is also a new start. And it is from a designer whose name is Ursula Michael. This is a very simple chart. It only has two colors, red and black. Now I got this because I was getting ready to start this year a pattern that was called Let's Hope, which if you have watched any of my previous videos, I have since completed that. I completed it last month in September, and it was stitched for my mother. but I wanted to see how I would like working this style of pattern. This is also stitched on the called for fabric with the called for threads. So far I just have the black in. Roughly halfway through this one. This one will take me probably no time. It stitches very quickly. Surprisingly. Whenever it's literally just words and backstitch and gaps of fabric, it doesn't take long to stitch. Next up is an oldie. I forget when I started this one. This is called Families Are Like Quilts. I actually looked for this one after watching somebody on YouTube many years ago who was stitching this, and I decided it was cute and I needed it. However, it is not really my normal aesthetic. It is a Janlin kit, which means it's probably also from, oh, but this one's 2015. Yep. Yeah, it's got 2015 in the corner, so I'm assuming it's a 2015 kit. This is what it will look like. Families are like quilts. I believe I started in the bottom corner down here. That looks about right. Boy, I did not get very far with this either. But I did mark out my corners. That's fun. I totally marked out my margins for my corners. How smart was I? So I started in that bottom bottom left corner and got, looks like I got that entire bottom motif, the bottom corner motif finished, and then I started going up, and then I started going into the larger basket. And then I kind of petered out a little bit there because the basket seems to be a lot of skippy stitches, doozy onesies, and all that kind of fun stuff, you know. You know how it goes. But it's not full coverage. This was also my like learning period. It will get better. It's got pretty colors though. Oh look, there's a pair of scissors. It's got some pretty colors though. And it's a cute pattern. It is a cutie of a pattern. There we go. Not good with visual things. Alright. Next up, if you've watched any recent videos, you will have seen this recently. This is Teacup Herb Sage. This is from a Just Cross Stitch, June 2015 Just Cross Stitch. I'm trying to hold it so you can guys kind of see. Yeah, it's that one where my finger is next to, right here. I only have the black and white photo right now. It's really hard to see on a PDF because I did buy it as a PDF. Somewhere around in my house I have the magazine, actually the physical magazine, floating around. I'm sure it's over in the stack of magazines over in that area. There we go. If I can find the right directions. That area. I am roughly halfway. I have not started any back stitching, but I'm about halfway through here. This is on a 28 count Jobelin, just a white Jobelin. It is stitched 2/2 with call for threads. The last couple kits have been on the call for fabric and with all the kit threads and fabrics. This one I did myself. I think I started it at the end of last year. Was when I started that one. So I've gotten pretty good. This one's going to be a new start, so this one hasn't actually gotten started yet. So since I wanted to keep things fun and interesting, I have actually one, two, three new starts that will happen next year that are integrated in. And because I have a lot of projects that already have the fabric and some that were kitted with fabric and threads, I decided to just shove them in to see if it would just give me some variation. I'm gonna not really take this out of the plastic, but this is one of my new starts. It is Simple Gifts Halloween by Praiseworthy Stitches. I didn't realize I had this one until I was looking around and I started going, I think I have that. And so I did have this one. I would like to get more of their patterns. They have like these really cool houses for Halloween, and I thought that was really neat. But I do have Simple Gifts Halloween. I am doing the DMC conversion because I believe it uses, I don't remember what threads it uses. I think it was Weeks Dye Works. Because it just says sampler threads. Weeks, yeah, it was Weeks Dye Works. But I was having problems finding some of the threads, so I just went ahead and decided to do the DMC conversion, and it is going on a 32 count Belfast linen in the color Kermit. I love this. I love it so much. It's not showing the proper color though. It's not that yellow. It's like a bright green. It is very much so a bright green. I'm kind of sad it's not showing. Maybe if I held the yellow. Oh gosh, it's like, oh, that's better. That's sort of better. It's not yellow. It's taking on yellow. It's that vibrant, but it's not. Oh, that's sort of it. It's not that yellow. It's definitely more green. I just love the fact that it was called Kermit and it was green. If you haven't learned yet, green is my favorite color. Alright. So we talked about Simple Gifts. This is a old sow, actually, from Lakeside Needlecraft. And by old, I mean like 2017. I don't think I have an actual finished picture, or what did I find one? If you give me just a moment, I'm going to see if I can find the end photo of this for you, because it's quite funny. I think, yeah, my two Lakeside Needlecraft patterns got chosen. Okay, so we're being a little. Oh, that's room 7. That's not it. Which one is this? Which one are you? What do you mean? What are you? One. Cancel. Gosh. That's 1 and 3. We don't want that either. Let's go down towards the bottom, isn't it? What's this one? Room 5. Oh dear. How many rooms are there? Why don't I just show you this? So this is on the called for fabric. I did buy the thread pack that came for this one. It might be the 7th one. Darn. It is that one. Not 3. Okay. So I almost have the whole border done. What was that one? I almost have the whole border done. I did not get very far with the border. When this came out, I was honestly doing this one, a Halloween one from Lakeside Needlecraft, and a salve from Frosted Pumpkin at the same time. So I got further with the Halloween one, however it took me until 2022, I believe, to finish it. No. Yeah, 2022. Yeah. I finished it last year, and the Frosted Pumpkin one was actually finished this year, and they were all started in like 2017, so it's taken forever. But this is on the called for fabric. It's called Winter Snow. It's a printed fabric, so it is only the color on one side. Oh, if my pattern would hurry up, I could show you. But I almost had the top room finished with back stitching and everything. This is, I believe, a Doreen Jones pattern, and they have a lot of back stitching. I'm not mistaken. I feel like any progress on this is going to be good progress. I do have like the entire top portion of the border finished, and I had, I think, all of this side except for maybe I think I had almost all of the right side done. Maybe I did have the whole right side done. I definitely had just that bottom corner of the border left to do, so it would be done, even with back stitching too. It's just that bottom corner to stitch and back stitch. So I had room 1 completely stitched and halfway back stitched. Room 2 was started stitching and doing some back stitching. I ran into figuring out how awful DMC metallic is in this project, and I will never touch it ever again except to get through it with this pattern. I do have some thread magic or thread ease, but I'm not certain if I want to try to use that, because I know some people have said that that helps, but it may lose its luster while it's got that, because it kind of tamps it down a little bit, and I don't know how printed fabrics wash. I'd have to figure that one out. But there is a lot happening in this one. Oh gosh, my tablet is like being a pain in the hiney for not wanting to show you guys what it looks like. Oh yeah, look, here's all the threads. So I still have all of the threads all together, and because I bought it as a pack all at once, because way back when I thought that was how I needed to buy everything. Oh look, here it is. And it is a design by Doreen Jones, which is so crazy. I thought it was. If you can see it, there it is. It's a cute little cut open house. I am thinking of just changing the words in the frame over the mantle to just say Merry Christmas. And I may put the date there. I may not. I just don't want my initials to be the focal point of that area, so that's why it would say probably Merry Christmas with the date for the year at least. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one because this would be my last, well, not my last, it's one second to last full coverage. I mean, non-full coverage. This one is also a lakeside needlecraft with the call for threads and fabric. It was the seasonal street style. It is also by Doreen Jones. It is on another printed fabric called Lilac Sky, and I did not get very far at all. I have tried to work on this already this year, and the little vine border is very color changing, as there are like, there's 2 colors in the brown parts, and then each leaf on the vine has 3 colors, and there's a butt ton of back stitching. Um, so at this point, I feel like my best goal for this would be to try to get through the border. I did complete the first building or structure, whatever you want to call it, whatever they called it, building, and did all of that. It also had like a butt ton of French knots, which looked like it looks like I did phenomenal on French knots way back when in 2017. I had done French knots beautifully and have since then forgotten how to do them. Go me. So there is that. As soon as my PDF pulls up, I'll show you what it looks like. It's a really cute piece. It's just a lot of back stitching and French knots. So this is what seasonal streets will look like. Ooh, the color of my face right now. I am not orange. The only other non-full coverage pattern that is going into 2024 is going to be a new start, and I don't have the fabric yet. However, I know what fabric I'm putting it on. It is going to be a picture this plus felt, which is kind of like a mossy green and brown toned fabric, and I'll be stitching with a dark green thread. It is a Pride and Prejudice sampler, and it is going to be my New Year New Start. So I've got to get booking on getting that fabric. I believe I'm going to be doing it on an 18 count, because I've been kind of curious about the 18 count dyed fabrics, and this will be the perfect opportunity to see how I feel about that. As soon as this loads, I did find this pattern on Etsy. I had seen someone stitching it and I went immediately to go search for it. Someone else on YouTube is stitching the Anne of Green Gables one, I think. I think it's stitching in the burrow. She's doing the Anne of Green Gables, and she mentioned they had one. There was the same person did one for Star Wars, and I wanted that one, but I can't find it anywhere, and I was really sad. I think they took it down. But this is the Pride and Prejudice, and I think it is absolutely beautiful. I love Pride and Prejudice, and I feel like I'm a girly girl, but I'm not your typical typed girly girl, because I like to get my hands dirty. I don't like to be outside with bugs and insects and mud, but I will garden, so I will get dirt under my fingernails. I love to be in the kitchen and get dirty in that way with flour and ingredients and things of that nature. But I think every one of us has a little bit of romanticism in us, and what's not romantic about Pride and Prejudice and Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth? What is not romantic about that? And it literally has the best saying, which is one of the highest standards of someone telling you that they love you, and it is what it is. Most people will never find that in a person, and I love it. It has the saying, if you were able to read it, I will read it to you. If you weren't, it says, you must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. And I don't want somebody to say those exact words to me, but cinematic romanticism has, like, I feel like doomed humanity in ways. There will be nobody that will put you on a door and die for you in the coldest of oceans. it's sad. No. Don't want my dog to eat that. That was the cap to my highlighter. Ooh, it is quarter to time for me to feed her. But I'm zooming. Alright. So these are some stragglers. Actually, one is empty. I'm gonna show you this. Look at this. It is an empty piece of fabric. Guess what that means? There's a new start happening. Let me go back in here because I discovered I've had these patterns for ages. This one is called Mountain Reflection. Yeah. This one's called Mountain Reflections. It's going on 32 count fabric, and I can't remember if I was doing it 2/2 or 1/1. So, but I do know this was the fabric for it. I think I was doing it 2/2. I believe that's what was happening, because it's not a big one. She said they're not big. It's a little round one. Little. Oh, come on, tablet. You have your good days and your bad days, and today is not your day. Oh, here it goes. It's loading. We are at the 42-minute mark. And I'm trying to get this done before 8 o'clock. Because I'd like to get in my pajamas. Anybody else do that? The early morning person? Thanks to my job right now. I get up at 5:15. Yay me. But that will change. Going into my new job. Woo. Oh my gosh. Just hurry up. Tablet sucks. Maybe it'll do it now since I've tried to open it. Or maybe it just won't because it's evil. I can do it on my phone faster. I still will. Oh boy. Because it's still trying to find a pattern to load. Who's gonna win? Guarantee the phone wins. Tablet will be bigger, but I think the phone's gonna win. Fingers crossed. They're both saying they're loading the document. Wow, it's taking 2 minutes already. That sucks. I thought this was gonna be fast. Who's it gonna be? Has to be one of you. We're on the phone, so I'm going to put my tablet over to something else. she is horrible. Well, we already know it is a empty piece of fabric, so that's fun there on that part. It will fit on that fabric. I just don't remember if it's 2/2. I think it's 2/2. And here we go. Bless you, dear. Alright, it is called Mountain Reflections. It is just a little round pattern. I don't know if that's really coming out as the colors right, but I'm just going to use the called for colors. I think I am. Yeah, I think it's going to be 2/2. It shouldn't, being the keywords, take very long to do, but no promises. Next up is actually one that I specifically chose instead of letting the wheel spin for me because I wasn't getting any Christmas full coverages, and this is Puppy Christmas. Y'all will recognize him. I stitched him. Maybe you might recognize him. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll recognize him. I stitched on this one from, I think I started it a little bit before December or right at the beginning of December, and I stitched on it all the way up until Christmas of 2022. And this is where I'm at currently. He is on 32 count, stitched 1/1 tent stitch, and I forget how far I got on this. I'm not giving you any percentages, but you are seeing where I'm at. I absolutely adore him. I want to see that fireplace come out. This one was a new start at the end of the year, and this is a Hade that is called Lionheart. Maybe it wasn't a new start at the end of this year. It might have been a new start this year. I don't remember. It might have been a new start this year because I kind of went on a starting spree after my life exploded. That's Lionheart. It is also stitched 1/1 tent stitched on 32 count, and I have just a wee little start. Yeah, it's like almost 200 stitches. He's a wee little start. I struggled to get this one started because at the time when I started it, I thought I had all my colors in my master set and discovered very quickly I did not. But it started with some very pretty light greens and creams, and we're going to get into some fun colors, I think, for that one. Okay. This is Daydream Sea Turtles, which is Charting Creations, and a Sheena Pike pattern. Oh, well, the last one, Puppy Christmas, is an I Paint with Needles pattern, which is no longer in production, so that is definitely retired. You will not be able to find that on the internet. Lionheart is an Elizabeth Welker, and it is a Hade pattern. So this is Daydream Sea Turtles, which is by Sheena Pike, and at the time it was just, she was only on Charting Creations. Now she's back on Heaven and Earth Designs, and I don't know if they have produced this pattern quite yet. This is also the large chart, which is essentially that sort of cover my face. There you go. Okay. So this is what it looks like. This is the large chart, which I believe is essentially Charting Creations is super size. I didn't quite realize that when I did it, but I liked it and I liked her stuff, so I bought this one in the large chart. And I also have the Daydreams Tigers in the large chart too. Haven't started that one yet, but this is where I am on this guy. I finished one full page and I've started 2 other pages because I got this page down here started and this page that is diagonal to the first page finish also started. go, and it is also 1/110 stitch on 32 count. I hope you're seeing somewhat of a trend with a lot of my projects. Full coverage is usually 1/110 stitch on 32 counts, unless I have done it otherwise, or I took a fancy to do it different. There are a few that aren't in this stuff, so like this one. This is I have this loaded in as full coverage, but it's not completely full coverage. Shh. It is a Jamlin kit that is actually a Teresa Winsler. It's snuck in. It's not technically full coverage, so technically I could take this one out, but I think I'm going to leave it because it is full coverage. It is stitched on the called for threads, with the called for threads, and on the called for fabric. I haven't got a clue which way is up at this moment. Or down. What fabric is this one? It came with a 28 count even weave. Some sort of blue even weave. And I think it goes this way. Started in the middle. That was as far as I got, cause she's no joke. Teresa Winsler scares me. But yeah, she scares me. Somebody's texting me. Oh, yep, I had it the right way. She really scares me. I'm not planning on stitching this one, so I was totally marking on the pattern. It looked like somebody was messaging me on Instagram. Wonder who that could be. Alright, next up is actually one of my own patterns. If you do not know, I run a pattern business called Total Cross Stitch. I have my patterns on my Etsy store, the Total Cross Stitch shop, and the one that got picked for this coming year is Hot Air Balloon, which is actually one that I released, one of my first releases of patterns. For those of you who are not aware, it is all of my patterns are public domain. This is where we're sitting for that. We are in the clouds still. I believe it is, I finished 2 full pages, almost 3, and my pages are not big. My patterns are usually all about the size of the Heaven and Earth Designs mini. They still have the 90 colors, but if that is what they will pick up, I do have in case you are curious, I do have a Facebook group for Total Cross Stitch, which you could join, and there are 2 free patterns in my files, but they're very low count threads. I think they were in the 60s, because that was how much colors that the software could pick up from the image. But this is Hot Air Balloon, where we've got the mountain cap right there, and we should be getting, I think it's in the bottom of this page, down here at least, in this area, is where we'll be hitting the top of the balloon. So we were getting into some good stuff when I stopped stitching on it. Sadly. And there's no way. I think I missed. I did. I knew I missed something. Excuse me. Oh, and I got one that's under the bed I gotta pull out too. Because I forgot it won't fit in the thing. Alright, so next up is another other Heaven and Earth designs. Oh, that hot air balloon is on 28 count, and it is 1/1 full cross. I don't remember. This one is QS Blue Butterfly. And it is by Shinshu Quick. Oh boy, what's happening here? Phone going haywire. It is QS Blue Butterfly. Looks just like this. I was stitching this in the Royal Rose method, but I'm gonna kind of start implementing the way that I like to stitch, which is the stair steps of 10 by 10. I don't remember if this is on 32 count or if it's on 28 count. It is 1/1 full cross though. I have a feeling, I don't remember. I think this is 1/1 full cross on 28 count. But I'd have to measure it, and I really don't want to do that. Same as this guy. So this next one is QS Hazel's World Giraffe, which is also a Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a retired Heaven and Earth Designs. It is a Dakota Detweiler piece, and I did not like the whole pattern as a whole, but I loved this snippet of it. So there's that. This one is also either on 28 count or 32 count, but it is 1/1 full cross. That is my tiny little bit of a start. So yes, would you believe that this is one of the contenders to be a possible finish next year because of it only being, let me take a peek here, I think it was only like 16, nope, it's just under 25,000 stitches, so it was a definite possible contender to finish it in the next year, even though it only has that wee little start. Next up, I do not actually have the full pattern of this guy yet. It is the mystery stitch along from the Cross Stitch Studio for this year. This one is 1/1 full cross on 20 count Ada in the color Blush. It is the In the Garden. I know it's got a big flower in the middle. I have not even finished page 1. It has been a struggle to stitch on this, which is kind of funny that this got picked for next year. We shall see what happens. I actually make no promises with this pattern at all. I'm going to stitch it because obviously I'm almost done with page 1, sort of. But once I get through the slog of the yellows, I should be okay. It's just, I have a rough time with the weird pale yellows. Which is why I probably won't ever stitch the other one that I have from them, which is the Sleepy Owlet. I bought it and never stitched it during the year that it was being released, and I don't know if I will, but I haven't. And second to last is what I call Mickey and Minnie. It is one that I got off Etsy. It is supposed to be a like the photo booth kind of picture, and I'm stitching this one 2/1 10 stitch on 25 count. I'm over halfway done, but my orientation had to change because I had a little bit of a fabric mishap as I didn't have enough space down at the bottom, and I would have only had like maybe half an inch to do framing, so I went this way so that my margins are better. So I've got more than half of it done. This is where it sits. I think everybody loves seeing this, and it was a blast to work on. Of course, I did a a lot of it during a recovery from a surgery, so that was how I finished this big block and this big block. And then I kind of dropped out once I got better because I was getting bored of the black and whites. It was nice. If you can hear that, I'm sorry. My dad was disciplining his dog, and he's quite loud. Out of Mickey's face. I did finish a page on this year, which was up here. I forget what page it was, but I did finish it. 6, I think it was page 13, because there should be 24 altogether, because each picture is only 6 pages, so yeah, should be page 13, and I started on page 14, so we were doing really well with this one. And as I do, I tend to get bored of color palettes very simple, very, very easily. That was the last one up here that can fit in the bin. The very last one is down here. So my very, very, very last one I have is, I don't know if I'll be able to get it through there, is a pattern that I created before I had my software, and I created it on Pick to Pat. I'm gonna have to get up to feed my dog in just a few minutes, so I'm so glad this is almost done. We're at an hour. No. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can find this. This gets. I know. I'm going to feed you in just a minute. You have to wait. Please wait. I'm almost there. Rogue. Here it is. I haven't forgotten you. Promise. Okay. She's getting whiny. I apologize. No, ma'am. This is a photo of my grandmother and grandfather. Oh, excuse me. Grandmother and grandfather. It was during her high school graduation. And that is what it will look like. This pattern is a little unique. It is on 18 count, stitch 2/1 full cross. I finished, I think, almost 2 pages. Yeah, I was on the second page. Ooh, hello. Hey, look at that. I found something I didn't know. This is where I got to. There's a lot of confetti in this thing. No, there are not grid lines, even it looks like there are in the camera, but there's not. My tension is fine. My grandma's face is completed, so that's really cool. This couch is floral patterned, and it's ridiculous. But I have it in this stitch folder because I was trying out these stitch bows. Well, I don't have any to show you. So you can kind of see them. They're called stitch bows. Like this, like put your DMC on, and this is a stitch bow. Yeah, here you go. Like that. I'm not a fan, but I will use this for like small projects that don't have a whole lot, and if I want to just put fabric on, it may be good for like patterns that have specialty threads, because it is its own binder. I'm coming, ma'am. Okay, and that is the last of my projects. So I'm going to end here since she's getting very vocal and she's telling me it's time to feed her. So that is my last project, and I am hoping to get through all of those next year. And I hope everyone has wonderful stitchy plans and has a wonderful stitchy time.